Hi folks, this is Jay. Hope you're okay today, and I'm just going to share with you a conversation that I had with dprjones, and I'm just sharing it because you know, I just feel that he talked about he was asking me about neuroscience. I didn't give any source material, and he was not talking about our conversation in the right context. He never gave the context. I want to read what was said, and then I want to just talk about it just for a minute. Okay, so here we are. This is the Magic Sandwich Show. Okay, this is the Skype conversation. Now I have to do this because this dprjones and his people get up to these things. I don't get up to these things, they get up to it. I want academic discussion and debate. I don't want to be getting involved in this stuff. It'd be simple if dprjones would just organise an academic debate for me and we could have academic debates. But when he tries to disparage my character and make me look bad, then I have to defend myself. Magic Sandwich Show. He contacts me. Hi Jason. Hi. Now he goes on to the skeptic fence, okay, and talks about this, the skeptic fence with negation of P, and negation of P talks about this conversation. Hi Jason, hi. I'm just rewatching the academic debate. Can you send me your sources concerning the neuroscience referred to? This is by dprjones. Now notice, this guy has generally ignored me for 6 months when I've asked for an academic debate with Aaron Ra, but now he's contacting me. Yes, I'm getting it for you now. It was a lecture we had by Dr. Robbie at church. I'm trying to find if they recorded it or if I can get a link. Sorry for the writing, I'm doing some things, just looking for you. Okay, Tar, is there a problem, Jason? So I give the link to Dr. Robbie's website. This is the chap, Mr. Jones. He came and gave us a lecture on how the brain works using cutting-edge thinking in neuroscience. So if you go on his site, you should find out about him. My church has not recorded the lecture, so there's my church. This is the church I go to. If you email the pastor, he might send you more details. I go to the church, but I do not agree with all it does, so do not try to pin what the church does on me, as I'm a conservative evangelical, they are charismatic. I go to help my uncle as he is struggling with drug addiction, and the church is helping him. Well, this is the best I can do. If you are thinking of coming for me, that is okay. I thought you would, but think before you do. Better for you to take me out the right way. If you go out, if you got one of your boys in a debate to take me out, then you have done a good job. But if you and your boys come down hard on me, know one thing: never underestimate me. If you take me out in an academic debate and win with one of your boys, I will bow out. If you try to take me down any other way, I'll always be around. The choice is yours. Think hard on it. Love you to you, Mr. Jones. Then he says, is that the only source that you relied on? I was under the impression that you had read some papers too. Now I just informed him what the situation was. I said, I read a stack of papers, some of my notes on philosophy for the debate, you just made videos on them. I read a stack of papers, some of my notes on philosophy for the debate, just made videos on them. I just got back from the lecture and the debate we had was too soon. I read a stack of papers, some of my notes on philosophy for the debate, just made videos on them. I just got back from the lecture and the debate we had was soon to start, so I did not have time to check, but he is an expert in the work he was talking about. I had ideas what to say, but I just said things in the debate with material I needed. I thought that would help in the debate. What science papers did you read? I just get my notes and give you a list of some sources. And then I quote Paul Ricoeur on memory, history and oblivion. Is that paper a book or an article? So I mean, he doesn't even know who Paul Ricoeur is. I mean, that shows you how uneducated he is, really. Then I put, that is an article very famous. I mean, it's really, really famous. I mean, a guy on the Magic Sandwich Show who runs the Magic Sandwich Show doesn't know who Paul Ricoeur is. The guy doesn't know what he's doing. Then I quote to him W.V. Quine. Where would I find it? I mean, where would I find W.V. Quine? I mean, the guy is so famous. I mean, it's unbelievable. Just type in and Google, it will come up. Go to the Ricoeur website, they'll have links to his works. You can find an academic journal dedicated to his work. And then I give a link to Scientific Understanding of Subjectivism, W.V. Quine. These are guys I did read for the debate with Negation of P. So this is not the person to have gave you a lecture. No, I've just told him it was Dr. Robbie, and that's up there. This is a different person. Yes, I'm giving you some links now to a philosopher and thinkers in science that I used as background material to some thoughts. Quine was a blessing. I'd rather stick to neuroscience for the moment. Well, I told you on the neuroscience we had a lecture by an expert in the clinical psychology. I have read a lot of Sam Harris and Dennett, so I knew what the chap was saying was okay. It's just standard stuff, the stuff about the rats I had studied that years ago. So when he talked, I got what he was saying. You consider the lecturer to be an expert. You referred to recent discoveries, and when you referred to rats, you went back to the 1950s. I'm just trying to work out what you actually read about recent neuroscience discoveries. I said, now, we was told he was an expert, but I got an email about 2 months from Thomas Nagel. At that time I was looking into the freedom of the will, and he sent me some reading lists, some on neuroscience. It's not rocket science, bro. If you note in the debate you cut me off when talking about fish. If you would have let me go on, I would have told you the full story on it. So I have some idea on the subject. I can tell if a person knows what he's talking about. I had Nagel's books, my reading on Dennett and Harris, so I can tell if a person knows what he is talking about. And then it says, I was hoping for a citation of a paper that referred to the front, middle and back parts of the brain. The 5 to 7 second response time. Can you provide one? Mr. Jones, you can go and study Dr. Robbie. Link. If you want a full list of all the papers I studied for the debate, I will send them to you in the morning, but I have been honest with you, bro. I have thought you would have had them at hand, but you could send them to me tomorrow. That would be great, thank you. Okay, take care. I do have them at hand, but I have, Mr. Jones, 30 to 40 hours of work. It would take me all night to type. If you want all the sources I studied for the debate, then I will send them to you in the morning. I mean, this is a joke. Negation of P brought no evidence. It didn't bring anything, and this guy is trying to get my sources, and I've got tons of sources on all other stuff, and I'm being honest about the neuroscience, about Dr. Robbie, and the guy's pressing me. It's just unreasonable. It's irrational. I thought, I'm sure if you want all the sources I studied for the debate, then I will send them to you in the morning by Skype. Take care and hope you are well. I rubbed it in these last few days. Blame Christopher Hitchens, because I really socked it to Negation of P and Mr. Jones. He said, when you see a weakness, exploit it. So I had to make a few videos after the debate. I'm sure you'll have some fun taking me down. Take care, Mr. Jones. Forgive the spelling, just having a cup of tea. So then he goes, only the neuroscience one, Jason. That's all I'm asking for. Now, I'm talking to him. I'm talking to dprjones right here in this discussion. Now, on the Skeptic Fence, a few days later, Negation of P admitted at the end of the show, which they've not put up, by the way, but he admitted at the end of the show that he was actually listening in and checking the names that I was giving. So I was not aware this was going on. So dprjones is talking to me and invading my privacy because he's letting someone else listen in to what we're saying without me realizing. So he goes, only the neuroscience one, Jason, that's all I'm asking for. Now, this kind of shenanigans I've had from other atheists. 3 other, maybe more atheists have done this to me. Time and time again, talked to me, but they've had other ulterior motives. They're doing other things, other manipulative things behind the scenes that I'm not aware of, and I don't realise till after. Okay, well, this is me. Well, to be honest, Mr. Jones, I've said all one can say. I can send you a list of 20 to 30 articles on a few books I read for the debate. Like I said, I used Dr. Robbie, and I knew stuff of Dennett, Harris and Nagel. If you want me to pin it down, we'll send in the morning. Not much else to say. Now, on the day of the Skeptic Fence, when they were talking, negation of P and dprjones give the impression to the viewers that they asked me for neuroscience and I didn't give any information, and they caught me out. Now, at this point, I actually made a video which I took it down because I thought, why should I do it? But I thought, I'll tell you what, I thought he was actually crushed. I thought I'd upset him. I really thought that I'd really crushed dprjones. So I made a video saying dprjones has cornered Jason Burns on neuroscience, and I told him that I would actually fall on my sword for him, okay, that I would actually do that for him, and I actually said that. And I went and made a video within a couple of seconds. I went and made a video, and I made a video saying, I'm sorry, I've been caught out by dprjones, okay, because I felt the guy was crushed. I didn't know that Negation of P was listening in. I thought this guy had been really hurt, and he was pressing me for neuroscience because I'd hurt him, and he was trying to show that he was clever. And I just thought this asking me all the time for neuroscience was irrational, and I could only explain the irrationality because the guy must have been hurt and crushed, because I did a video where I was laughing at him and I thought I must have really hurt him. So I said I'll fall on my sword. Anyhow, we'll get back to that in a minute. So I told you, mate, Dr. Robbie, I just told you, mate. So he says, Jason, all I'm asking is for the neuroscience papers that you read in preparation for the debate. I told you, mate, Dr. Robbie, on the day of the debate was a lecture. And I have known about Nagel, Dennett, Harris for weeks ago. I can send stacks of articles on many things I said in the debate. That's all I can say. He failed to inform his viewers and Negation of P's viewers about all this information that I had, as well as Dr. Robbie, that I had read Harris, I had read Dennett, I had read Nagel, and you know, I have a background in psychology. My dissertation on public speaking was about psychological learning methods, so I'm not an ignoramus when it comes to psychology and about the brain. Jason, can you just answer the question, which scientific peer-reviewed papers did you read about neuroscience in preparation for the debate? If you cannot reference the paper, can you at least reference the journal? Also, if you did read any peer-reviewed papers, were any written by Dr. Robbie? Mr. Jones, I'm not going to lie to you. Okay, so I'm being honest. I read many peer academic papers by Paul Ricoeur, W.V. Quine, and many more. I can send them. That was for the debate for Negation of P. I can't cover everything. I covered many of my points with academic papers. Negation of P didn't cover any of his points. He didn't bring any evidence. I had my back covered if pushed by the debater with reading by Harris, Dennett and Nagel from memory and the lecture of Dr. Robbie. But I had papers read by N.T. Wright, John McDowell, Dr. Balcom and many more papers if you want them. If you want me to come to back up the neuroscience, then we'll send you some papers in the morning, but that will be the research to back up. Okay, so If you want me to back up the neuroscience, then we'll send you some papers in the morning, but that will be research to back up Dr. Robbie, that anyone who reads a bit of Dennett and Harris would know. Go to sleep now, good night, and wish you the best. Let me repeat, Jason. I'm interested in the neuroscience papers you read. And I said, I'm going to make a video right now. This is for you and negation of P. This is me falling on my sword for you and your people. So I'm thinking he's crushed. And I went and made a video falling on my sword so he would look good. And I went and made a video saying he'd cornered me. He hadn't cornered me, but I wanted him to save face. I thought he was crushed. I thought I'd hurt him, and that he was going on about neuroscience because I'd hurt him, and he was trying to point out to me that I wasn't as clever as I thought I was, or whatever. And I thought I've really hurt him. So I went and said, I'm going to make a video right now, and this is for you, a negation of P. This is me falling on my sword for you and your people. Alright? So I made a video right then, falling on my sword and saying, dprjones has cornered me. To make him look good. To make negation of P look good. Because I was upset. I felt I'd upset him. Unbeknown to me, he's got negation of P listening in, and they're really trying to entrap me. So then I put, this is my gift to you and your people. Please lead your people to build bridges with Christians. Love to you, Mr. Jones. Have a good night. So there we are. And I took the video off after a few days because I thought, well, at the end of the day, why should I fall on my sword to help someone who came and said a few nasty comments on some of my on video? Now, so I'm just gonna that was the conversation. Now, in that conversation as well, there's bits missing. There were other things that I said. I said some private things about me that and stuff like that. That has gone missing. I talked about I had a breakdown 4 years ago. I'm a nobody. I'm a nothing. Just don't bother with me. Whatever. I said that to him, and some other stuff in this discussion. And from the beginning here, right to the end, it seems to have gone missing. Now I don't know if they've hacked. I'm not saying, but I don't know what has happened to that information. I don't know if there's more on Skype that I can't get, or if it's been edited out. But some private information and about me and stuff, and a few other bits and pieces have gone. Is not there. Now I don't know why that is. I don't know if they've come in and edited it or not. I don't know. But what I do know is there was more in this conversation, and that has gone. And that if they embroil me in a debate and discussion about, I accuse them of mentioning personal stuff about me, and I go back to try and prove that, I can't prove it because this information is gone. So how convenient is that for them? So all I'm saying is there was more into this conversation as well, and that's gone. Not a lot, but just a paragraph, a key paragraph has gone. Now it might be me, it might be that under here for some reason I can't get any more information, I don't know. But it seems to, we've come to the end of the conversation. This is all that we talked about over 30 days. Okay, so that's just 30 days. And I only had this conversation with dprjones. You see. So there we are, that's the full info on the dprjones gate scandal, where basically when he went on the Skeptics Fence show with negation of P, the scandal is this, that he gives the impression that he was, to me, when he came to talk to me on this Skype, he gave the impression I was talking to him. And the scandal is that behind the scenes negation of P was listening in and looking at what I was saying, and I was not informed, and that is a scandal. Also, he said a number of things about me on the Skeptic Fence that if you look at this in context, you know, you get the full context, and he failed to inform the public how I'd done all the research and mentioned names like N.T. Wright, John McDowell, Dr. Balcom, Quine, Paul Ricoeur, names he doesn't even know who they are, some of them. On the neuroscience, failed to inform them how I'd read Dennett, Harris and Nagel as background reading months ago, and so I knew Dr. Robbie. I could check Dr. Robbie out from memory from the books that I'd read, and how he failed to communicate to people that how he was unreasonable because I'd just come back from a lecture from Dr. Robbie and had to go into debate with negation of P. And I couldn't check everything about Dr. Robbie because I'd just come back from a debate, from a lecture, and was about to have a debate. And he was being unreasonable, and he failed to inform how I'd done so much reading on other topics and had information, and failed to inform his people how negation of P did not present any academic papers or any information backing up his video. So there we are, folks. So I asked negation of P for a rematch debate, and I asked dprjones for a public apology for phoning me up on Skype or contacting me on Skype and not informing me that negation of P was listening, and I asked them for a proper academic debate with negation of P, and that dprjones moderates, and then I expect that the atheist community will move forward in proper academic debates with me, rather than attacking my character, calling me mentally ill, when all I'm trying to do is do the best I can and want to debate in an academic and scholarly way. Thank you.